that team's down there, right? I also know there's like 5 or 6 guys in this lobby. Desperate. For just a hint of love.
Song earlier. Did you make that up? I don't think I've ever heard it.
Yeah, I just made it up.
It's great.
What was it again?
Something about tonight, but I felt like,
Well, I can't remember the tone. Maybe you can remind me.
kind of like that.
That team's down there, right? I also know there's like 5 or 6 guys in this lobby. Desperate. For just a hint of love.
Song earlier. Did you make that up? I don't think I've ever heard it.
Yeah, I just made it up.
It's great.
What was it again?
Something about tonight, but I felt like,
Well, I can't remember the tone. Maybe you can remind me.
Kind of like that.
That team's down there, right? also know there's like 5 or 6 guys in this lobby, desperate for just a hint of love.
That song earlier, did you make that up? I don't think I've ever heard it.
Yeah, I just made it up.
It's great.
What was it again?
Something about tonight, but it felt like,
Well, I can't remember the tone. Maybe you can remind me.
kind of like that.
That team's down there, right? I also know there's like 5 or 6 guys in this lobby, desperate for just a hint of love.
Song earlier, did you make that up? I don't think I've ever heard it.
Yeah, I just made it up.
It's great.
What was it again?
Something about tonight, but it felt like,
Well, I can't remember the tone. Maybe you can remind me.
Kind of like that.
Ahí estamos, gente. Venimos a otro directo más. Vamos a ver si se escucha bien esto. Venimos para un buen rato de streaming. Están haciendo desear los muchachos estos. Ahí estamos, gente. Venimos a otro directo más. Vamos a ver si se escucha bien esto. Bueno, parece que ahí va bien. La verdad que ni siquiera me acordaba de que esta semana era la Gamescom. Y bueno, eso, sencillamente la Gamescom. Varias empresas de juegos van a estar presentando las cosas que van a ir sacando. Creo que Xbox se va a centrar más en lo que va a sacar hacia fin de año. Y bueno, sencillamente eso. No sé qué podríamos ver, tal vez algún videito de Xbox mientras tanto. A ver. Algo interesante por aquí. Constellation Empire.
Yiwo Feng, or Nest of Bees rockets, was one of the earliest forms of a missile launcher. These short-ranged anti-infantry batteries were centuries ahead of their time. Quickly firing dozens of lethal projectiles, they devastated enemies with a rain of fire.
What? ¿Esa arma va en el juego? Pensé que era 100% medieval. Me gusta. Está interesante. Se están haciendo desear lo de Xbox, Microsoft. ¿Qué otra cosa? Hood. Mira, el nuevo personaje de Hood que van a meter, que es un juego que está bastante muerto últimamente, pero como tiene cross, todavía sigue vivo. No fuera por las consolas. Yo vengo esperando a este personaje hace 3 meses. Qué buen hachazo en la en la rodilla. A ver. El trailer de Monkey. El trailer de Monkey estaba muy bueno, gente. No sé si lo vieron. Está muy interesante. Un gran paso para la... No me acuerdo cómo era. Está muy bueno el trailer. Ahí está, un gran paso, un pequeño paso para el hombre, un gran paso para la humanidad. Era así. Lo estaba esperando el otro. Oh, bueno. La musiquita me encanta. A ver quién pone la bandera primero. A ver, vamos a darle actualizar a la página.
Favorite Microsoft
Ahí
Flight
está, ahí está.
Simulator.
Estamos.
Later on, we'll take an extended look at Forza Horizon 5. There's so much going into this, and Playground Games' vision of Mexico is muy bonito.
And we'll be getting our first look at the cover car for the game, Paris. I got $5 on it being one of those electric scooters that you see piled up on the sidewalk.
Will Kate win $5? I guess we're about to find out.
Yes, indeed. Our Xbox Plays team will also chat with devs and deep dive into current and upcoming games all week on twitch.tv/Xbox.
Let's get started with Techland and their upcoming zombie parkour sequel, Dying Light 2 Stay Human.
Acá dice que supuestamente está para ponerlo en subtítulo, pero a mí no me sale el subtítulo en otro idioma.
Hello, I am Timon
Ves
Smertawa,
aquí y
Dying
luego
Light 2 lead
traducirlo.
game designer,
No.
and this is David Lubrica, animation director. Hi. We can't wait until December 7th to finally give you Dying Light 2 Stay Human, the game we have been working on really hard for the last few years.
We're hoping the gameplay video you're about to watch will give you a foretaste of parkour and combat systems waiting for you in the game.
And we are just about to enter the city, fighting our way through its brutal and dangerous streets. Though, as you will see in a moment, there are plenty of things you can use to your advantage. So watch closely, look for special combat and parkour moves, and check out how with just a bit of creativity you can combine the two. Ready? Let's go!
Sometimes I wonder what this city looked like before all this. Probably like many others. People had their ambitions, plans, lives. Now it's all gone. The virus started it, but it was the people who made the world the way it is. This city, Villador. They tell me they had a vision. They had hope. But soon, one vision broke into many different ones.
El Legion Light.
Instead of fighting together, people stood against each other. War broke out.
Was it a little bird met a broken leg?
Hope died.
Hope died.
Now the city is falling.
Each time we strike down an enemy, we absorb their strength.
But I can't let that happen. At least, not yet. I need the secrets the city holds.
Fuck! Hey! Still some rats here!
Se ve medio pixelado, ¿eh?
I have to pick a side.
The bazaar needs good people.
You're doing great so far.
La gente seguramente le está diciendo que se ve pixelado.
Difference.
Let's check and see.
Boring. Los típicos que ponen boring en todo. Eso lo aburre todo. No, do it.
They say that great change is a series of small gestures.
Amogus.
How about this series? Is all hope really gone? We'll see about that.
Well, that was an exciting trip, wasn't it, Timon? Did you notice those bandits in medieval-like armor passing by skyscrapers, banks, and large billboards? That's what we call a modern Dark Ages.
And it's a very unique design, one very important for the plot of Dying Light 2. But there's another thing that stood out to me, all those parkour moves that you and your
Yo
team
creo que
has put so much
le
effort into.
falló, ¿no?
Well, all you need is a few thousand of animations, cooperation with professional tracers, mock-up sessions, and invaluable help from David, by the way, whose face
mira, ahí
And
está,
we've
ahí
got
está. Acá
twice the number of parkour and we've got twice the number of parkour and we are showing some of them
Estoy
in
escuchando
this
eso.
trailer. The vault kicks being the most important to me personally. It brings a whole new fighting style into the game. The player can stagger an
Ahí
enemy
está, gente.
and use them to perform
Excelente.
further attacks. For example, by
Ahí lo tienen
rebounding from their
subtitulado.
bodies, jumping of them onto other foes, and so on.
I think we captured the movement really well and made it quite simple for the players to perform. I can't wait for them to try it out and tell for themselves how much they loved it.
It's definitely going to be useful. The city's buildings are higher than anything we have done before, improving its verticality. Players will need to find a way to reach those tall skyscrapers and other challenging spots too.
Then it's good we scattered some helpers around, like a paraglider, which can support players in both parkouring and combat.
Exactly, and it's gonna do great, especially in fights against humans, which are more frequent and important than in Dying Light 1. It's been over 20 years since the events from the first game, so people adjusted. They are much bolder now, at least during the day.
And they are more vicious too.
And I think that's a great summary of this discussion. Pre-order Dying Light 2 and explore its vast, complex world on December 7th. Thanks, David.
Thank you.
For the first time in the storied history of the franchise, Microsoft Flight Simulator launched on a home console with the release on Xbox Series X and S last month. Reviewers and gamers alike were blown away by how well the stunning visuals and the depth of the simulation translated to the console, and that's why I'm extremely honored to welcome the head of Microsoft Flight Simulator, York Newman, to the stream. York, thank you for being here. The last time we met was at the Xbox Game Showcase, and it was getting ready to come out on console. How did that go?
It went great. As you said, the reaction to the Xbox console launch was really just amazing. Both from Xbox gamers and from the press, they've been so gracious with their feedback. I don't know if you know, but we Flight
Y ya
Simulator
está grabado,
is one of the highest
pareciera,
rated games
porque
on
decía
Xbox this
estreno.
year, which I think is just
Oh,
great
no, no,
validation.
no, si está
that the
pregrabado no
that the
tendría que
translation of the
pixelar.
simulation to the console has really worked well.
¿Quién sabe?
Our usage numbers are through the roof. We are absolutely shattering franchise records, and I can tell you, there have never been more people playing Flight Simulator than right now. So it's an awesome time.
That is awesome. Congratulations on the launch, really. But
all right.
I want to go to the danger zone. So what's going on with Top Gun?
There's so much going on, Paris. So you and I talked about Top Gun Maverick earlier. The fans are super excited. They saw the FA-18. They can't wait to start flying. And as you know, it comes out later this year as free DLC alongside the movie. But as the movie is still under wraps, so are we. So I can still not tell you that much about it. But there's so much else going on even before Maverick. So we are continuing to do our monthly big releases that we've been doing for a long time. And next month, on September 7th, we are launching World Update 6. And this world update, I mean, at the beginning of the show, if you remember, there was a little red plane flying into Cologne. Well, we did that because World Update 6 updates that region, the region of Gamescom. So Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And what that means to us is we have new aerial and satellite images. We have a new elevation map that helps us with the mountains. So the Alps actually look awesome now. We have new 3D cities like Frankfurt and Wuppertal in Germany. We have Basel in Switzerland. We have Vienna and Graz in Austria, and those cities look just amazing. They have like 7 centimeters resolution, and it's awesome. But we want to celebrate the entire region, so we picked 100 of the most scenic places, the most famous landmarks, and we call those POIs, and we sort of spread them throughout the simulation, and we also added airports. We did
No, eso es nítido bien eso.
Stuttgart in Germany and Klagenfurt in Austria.
Pero eso es el que se ve un poco pixelado.
And what it ties it all together is missions. We're having new discovery flights. We have new landing challenges, and we have new sort of tours of the country. So they fly you around all the awesome-looking places and really celebrate the beauty of this region of Earth. And this is a celebration of DACH, of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. I'm so happy to be able to announce the date here at Gamescom.
You know, that is really incredible, all the different regions and everything that you're going to have in the game, and the way that you're going to be able to actually highlight those.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. But you know, for us, it's actually not just the region and the visuals. We talked a lot when you study aviation, when you love aviation like we do, you actually realize that a lot of regions of Earth have a very special relationship with flying, with aviation. Sometimes it's, you know, the first experiments with aircraft, or a famous pilot, or a feat of aviation, or like a local manufacturer. So we thought to ourselves, why do we not use these world updates to celebrate the planes? So we are announcing a new series. We call them Local Legends. And think about that as planes that are locally well known, like in that region, but outside in the world, not so much. Yeah. But why not use the world updates to highlight this, to bring these awesome machines to a worldwide audience? So for World Update 6, we picked a German plane from the 1930s. It's called Junkers U-52. In Germany, it's lovingly named Tante U, so Aunt U. And we think of us as sort of a digital preservation. So we really want to get these planes to an extreme level of detail. We're going out of our way to really go deep. So we're doing a full scan. We take full scans of the outside and the inside, as detailed as 1 millimeter, which is as good as you can do this. And then we're working with, for the Junkers, we work with Bernd Junkers, who is the grandson of the original creator of the plane, Hugo Junkers. And he's helping us. He had a ton of insight and materials. Then we worked with an organization that is preserving one of the last surviving examples of the Junkers. So they let us scan and take photographs. And then we were lucky that to find a pilot that actually flew one of those planes while it was still flying in the real world. And he lets us know, like, is the cockpit right and the sounds right? Does it feel right in the air? So we're having a blast working with these experts to really bring these, to celebrate this plane, to bring them back to life.
So this is almost like you're creating like a digital museum for aviation inside Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically that. It's a museum with flyable planes. Yeah. So we're working with 40 museums around the world. And it's honestly one of the funnest parts of the job. You end up working with these curators of planes. These are their babies. And they sort of see the tooth of time in the real world sort of nagging on their remaining planes. And they're so happy when we come in with our scanning equipment and we're basically capturing their planes. They know that we can digitally preserve them in perpetuity.
Porque Xbox tiene como algo ahí con EA.
And it's a great collaboration.
Creo que así.
We're actually not just looking back in the history of aviation, we're also looking towards the future. So
Activision tiene con Play y EA con lo que sería Battlefield lo tiene Xbox. Como una especie de exclusividad, pero en realidad no, pero algo así. Porque estuve buscando y no hay lugar que diga cuál es la conferencia de Electronic Arts, por eso no sé, me quedé ahí muy loco.
I mean, you weren't kidding when you're saying that there's a lot going on inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, there's one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to announce that we've partnered with RARA. That's the Reno Air Racing Association. And every year they put on something called the Steel National Championship Air Race. And we're bringing this to Flight Simulator. So this is the fastest motorsport. This is right down your alley. It's the fastest motorsport on Earth. And I actually brought you a little trailer to look at.
So race, speed. We go into the danger zone, baby. Let's go ahead and show that.
¿Qué pedo con ese trailer tan cortito así?
You know I like going fast, and you know I love being in the danger zone. When is this coming out?
Man, these planes, they fly 500 miles, faster than 500 miles an hour, 50 to 250 feet above the ground. So you are definitely going to be in the danger zone. I mean, without going into too much detail, this Reno Air Race is actually the largest expansion we have since we launched on Flight Simulator. It's not just because we scanned all the famous race planes of the world. There's lots of them. This is also the first time when you can basically race against your friends and pilots across the planet. And so a competitive multiplayer is coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and that will definitely test your pilot skills. And you ask, when is it coming out? This is coming out this fall, so it's right around the corner.
Oh, that is fantastic. And you know I have the need for speed, so I can't wait to get my hands on this and participate in some of these air races.
Awesome, man. We got you covered.
All right, thank you. If going fast on the ground is more your speed, keep an eye out for an extended look at Forza Horizon 5 later on in the stream.
Ese loco está igual que yo, mira los ojos tiene.
Game director about the game's next big DLC. But first, if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, we have some great news
Yo
for
ando
you.
desde anoche, gente, para hacer una idea. Y ni me enteré, no me acordé de esto y dije, no, tengo que transmitirlo porque si transmití la conferencia, sí, las conferencias que hubo en julio, tengo que transmitir la Gamescom. Mañana tenemos otra, es como el inicio en sí. Esa me parece que es más a la noche. Así que vamos a estar varios días transmitiendo la Gamescom.
They did it. They added even more games to Game Pass. But let's talk about what's coming up. We're talking Age of Empires 4, the game's creative director, and we're going to see what's next for Sea of Thieves. But now, we've got a new roguelike retro shooter that, in grand retro fashion, sends you plundering through shifting dungeons to defeat a mysterious eldritch terror. Let's dive into the pit.
Ah, la mierda que se está pixelado, ¿eh? Pero ¿por qué se pixelea así? Está bien el directo, sí, el directo está bien. No, es el de ellos se ve así. Pero ¿por qué se ve tan feo? No mames, lo van a trolear si siguen sacando las cosas así.
Well, I am here with creative director of World's Edge, Adam Eisgreen. And Adam, I'm so excited to talk Age 4, of course, because you've brought something a little different and very special today.
Yeah, I have. So, so far we've been showing everyone kind of what Age looks like from in the game, when you're playing it. You've gotten to see a lot of footage of that. And we've also shown a little bit of our campaigns, right, through when we unveiled the 100 Years' War and showed Joan of Arc. But we have yet another way in Age of Empires 4 that we're kind of bringing history to life that we haven't talked about yet.
See, you do this to me. You put me in suspense. I want to know more, so let's go with it. Let's hear more.
Okay, wait, you get one moment of suspense. Okay, that's enough. So what we've brought today is we have these wonderful little videos that we've created that are interspersed amongst the campaign, and they're about 3 to 5 minutes each. And we have over an hour of them total, and they're called hands-on histories. And what they are is a great way to like deep dive on certain fun subjects
todos
from
pasaron
the
sueños
cultures we're
haciendo eso, se
representing
les
and
notan
just
los
from medieval
ojos.
history.
Excellent. Well, I hear you've actually brought one of those segments that you're going to share here for the very first time.
Yes, I have. We are going to show you the segment on one of the most popular units
peinadito, la loca
from
me
Age
gusta.
of Empires franchise and a fan favorite, the Trebuchet.
Excellent. Well, this I gotta see. Let's.
Hay un personaje en el Paragon que tenía ese peinado, me re gustaba.
A counterweight trebuchet was the king of all siege engines. A catapult capable of smashing down castle walls from great distances.
Una catapulta de verdad, boludo, no mames.
At Warwick Castle in England, they've built a replica, one of the largest in the world.
Mira, sí.
Originating in 7th century China, by the 13th century, trebuchets had evolved into devastatingly powerful weapons.
Such a simple design, but so effective.
It has several key features. A pivoted arm with a weight at one end, and a sling to hold the projectile at the other. To prime, the 6-ton weight is raised using tread wheels.
So this is one of the wheels, one of two that's attached to an axle, which would lift the counterweight, weighing 6 tons. It's based on muscle power alone.
6 toneladas.
What's essential about launching a projectile as far as possible is making sure that this end of the arm is moving as fast as possible. So once that weight drops, it really sends this point of the arm moving at its highest velocity.
This was done by positioning the pivot close to the counterweight and by launching the projectile from a sling. When released, the sling whips round, vastly increasing the launch speed. Trebuchets were carefully aimed, like modern guns.
In order to weaken the castle walls or even breach them, you had to make sure that the projectiles hit the same spot every single time.
For each projectile to follow the same trajectory, they all had to be the same weight and shape. To achieve this, masons used a gauge.
Now I'm going to load this projectile into the sling. Oh, this one must weigh about 25 kilograms, but some projectiles can get up to 150 kilograms. That's the weight of 2 men.
Trebuchets were also used to throw burning tar, beehives, even dead bodies. Anything to cause maximum distress to the enemy.
Did you hear that whoosh?
It was the counterweight trebuchet's lethal combination of power and accuracy that made it the ultimate medieval siege weapon.
You know I'm going to say trebuchet. Don't care, because that is awesome and remarkably unique, something you don't see in games very often.
Yeah, so, you know, one of the things when we were looking at what we were going to do with Age of Empires 4, there's a phrase I'm really fond of, which is, history is only as interesting as the people who taught it to you. And you could say that about any subject, really, right? But I think the great thing is when you have someone that's so enthusiastic and passionate about history, it really comes across. And we wanted to be that kind of teacher for history.
Sí. No
And
quería ver si el micro se escuchaba.
there's a phrase called humanized history that I use to kind of describe what we tried to do, which is we tried to like connect past and present. And you can see that kind of in our briefings as well, where we've got like real stuff with like CG kind of overlaid to show you the history. And so for these, we really wanted to do that same thing. So ourselves and Relic partnered with this amazing group in the UK called Lion TV, and they've done production on an amazing amount of shows and documentaries for the BBC and won every award you can imagine for media. And they travel to all of these locations in all these different countries to meet with these subject matter experts and get all of this great footage on how things really worked and how things were made. And it's been delightful to kind of go through that process and, you know, get all these and finally start showing them to everyone.
I love it. Now, you also, of course, you've got a bunch, as you mentioned, of these hands-on history segments. Anything else that you can tell us fans about what we can expect, looking forward to? Any favorites you got coming up?
Oh, well, favorites. Oh, man. Well, I think my personal favorite is one called Medieval Surgery.
Okay.
And I'm going to let your imagination go with what we might show and what we might talk about in that one.
Yeah.
But the thing I love about them is that they go all over the place. So, you know, we've got ones on warfare and castle building and like how they kept flaming arrows from not going out when she shot them. And but we've also got all of these ones on, you know, like illuminated history and hawk falconing and, you know, like horse taming, armor creation. And there's even one on Mongolian instrumentation, which is really cool because those instruments, we actually use them in the soundtrack for the Mongols when you're playing as them in the campaign, in the game.
I mean, I just love the behemoth amount of history that you guys... Age of Empires, always known for bringing history alive in a completely different way. And I also love to mention this to people that you and the team do so much research. And it's so great to see this approach being used in a hands-on history kind of segment. But, I mean, what was that approach like to sort of, you know, sell going forward, especially since it's such a unique in-game experience?
Well, the cool thing was it was there from day one. It was one of the things I was really wanted to do is try to tell these stories in a different way. But I'll tell you, like, full disclosure, it's been insanely nerve-wracking because we're trying something completely different that no one's ever done before in a game, right? We're history, but we're a game, but we're teaching you things, but you're having fun. And finding that middle ground has been really challenging. And, you know, every time we've tried to show, we've shown the campaigns or we've shown these hands-on histories, I've been like, oh God, it's gonna work? Like, people gonna like this? And the great thing is so far, everyone that's really experienced the entire thing put together have just been like, wow, this is great. And it's so different and kind of cool and refreshing. So, so far so good, right? But yeah, it's been a journey, you know, to get all this done and put the whole game
No, claro que tiene la loca.
I love that you mentioned journey because we are coming towards the end of this development journey for Age 4. Talk to me about where people can find and learn more about Age of Empires 4. I know they're all chomping at the bit.
Oh, well, you know, October 28th, we are launching the game. You can go to ageofempires.com to learn more about the title. And if you're really excited, right now, you can go onto the Microsoft Store or Steam, pre-order the game right now. And of course, we'll be there day one, Xbox Game Pass for PC as well.
Creo que todavía no estaba el precio.
On that can just grab the game and start playing. But...
Yes, I believe you are a part of something very special.
Encima en octubre sale el Battlefield también. Shit, va a ser duro pagar todo eso.
related in there, so if you're a fan, you probably should tune in.
A la mierda.
A bit of a tease from Mr.
Al menos el Call of Duty sale en noviembre.
And I like it very much. Adam, thank you so much for joining us here.
Always a pleasure, Kate.
Always a pleasure. Age of Empires 4.
A sufrir la carretera la gente.
I cannot wait. October 28th. Neither should you. Now, we have tons coming up here today, including a new update for State of Decay 2 and an extended look at Forza Horizon 5 with our friends at Playground Games. But now, catch up with Harry, who's gone from flying the skies in Microsoft Flight Sim to a different kind of
Hablen del 3, hablen del 3.
That's right, Kate. Xbox Cloud Gaming is already available on Windows PCs, mobile phones, and tablets. And now, it's coming to Xbox consoles. The future with cloud gaming sounds bright. No waiting to install, no running out of hard drive space,
es que es para jugar por online con internet nomás. Sin necesidad de tenerla en la PC. Yo lo probé en Steam con unos amigos a ese método y está bueno, funciona. Por lo menos mi internet me lo banca.
Cloud gaming is phenomenal.
Está buena subida nomás. Es eso nomás. Una buena subida nomás. Yo calculo que con 10 megas de subida puedes jugar tranquilo.
It's super exciting that for our Game Pass Ultimate members, they will get to experience Xbox Cloud Gaming on whatever console they have.
Cloud gaming is really about looking at how people play differently. I know me in particular, sometimes I just have 20 minutes.
It should be as easy as finding the game that you look for on your console and just jumping right in.
We're targeting 1080p at 60 frames per second.
What's crazy about this is like the latency. This is the kind of stuff you need with cloud gaming.
Oh, 60 frames? That's actually very smooth.
¿Qué onda con ese
The
logotip?
process itself to get into cloud gaming feels like you're playing on console, right? You go, you find the game you want, you press play.
It's so easy nowadays. You can pick up any device and pretty much play any Xbox game on Game Pass.
If my friends have titles that I don't have yet, I can just wait for them to send me an invite. It makes content just so much more accessible.
I really love the flexibility. It's awesome.
Everything that Xbox is doing right now is just getting rid of the limits.
¿Será que juega realmente la rubia
to
esa?
be on a specific
Tiene pinta como de que
platform
no
or a
sabe qué
specific
demonio
console,
hace
like
ahí.
PC and mobile, and now on Gen 8.
Yeah, Gen 8 consoles can play Gen 9 content. Isn't that so cool?
Bueno, eso sí parece gamer.
We have the ability, because you are connecting to consoles that are in our data centers, to allow the Gen 8 customers, the Xbox One customers, to play games that their hardware wouldn't have been able to play without it.
There's so much opportunity.
Qué lindo mando
when it comes to
ese.
Thinking about how we can make content more readily available and let people play where they want to. Sign me up. I'm ready for cloud gaming right now. Let's do it. When's the release date? When does it release?
August 9th saw the release of the free optimized update for Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice on the Xbox Series S and X. With beautiful and rich visuals, thanks to the addition of ray tracing and improved materials alongside performance updates, this is the perfect opportunity to relive Senua's journey or experience it for the first time. And if you haven't played this, do yourself a favor, grab a pair
Acaba de
of
salir el
headphones
Kingdom
and
Mountain
immerse
2,
yourself into
gente.
this world.
Agreed. Speaking of unique experiences on Game Pass, the
Me llegó la
Xbox Plays
notificación
team
en
will be
Steam.
taking a look at some ID at Xbox titles over the next few days, including 12 Minutes and The Big Con.
They're also talking with developers from Halo, the Master Chief Collection, Forza Horizon 5, and Destiny 2. So join the live Q&A to get your burning questions answered. You can catch all of those streams on twitch.tv/Xbox.
El Destiny 2. Ah, no, es
Forza
un live
Horizon
stream.
5,
Pensé
don't
que
forget,
hablaban
our
de
friends
dar
at
juego.
Playground Games will give us an extended look at their monument to motoring in Mexico later on.
That includes never-before-seen areas of the game map, plus cars that have
Creo que no le
never
puse me
been in the
gusta.
Forza franchise before. I've loved everything I've seen of Forza
¿Cuánta
Horizon 5 so
vibra
far,
hay?
and I can't
48,000.
Now, Kate, there's more games to check out, right?
Well, right you are, Paris. Let's talk Wasteland 3. Their newest DLC introduces us to a new cult. The Cult of the Holy Detonation.
Cinturita.
The holy detonation is life. Deep within Cheyenne Mountain, we've changed. Devolved into the mutations you see before you. Set on a righteous path.
Quiero empezar a ver exclusive, no sé qué.
Glow should be shared with everyone. May the light of the holy detonation purify you. Join us, Rangers.
El Wasteland 3, mira. Claro, pero el Collection. Que el 3 había salido ya, sí. ¿Cuál es el que yo jugué el 2, pero no lo terminé. El 3 no llegué a jugar.
With new patches,
El 3 que tiene
bug fixes,
cooperativo.
and added features, like a fine wine, Wasteland 3 just gets better with age. To
Si
really
llega a estar en
savor the
oferta, me lo voy a
game's
comprar.
bouquet, we're talking with InXile game director David Rogers. David, thank you for joining us.
I'm super stoked to be
No,
here.
el 3 va a
So
salir.
in the trailer, we saw that the DLC is coming out
A
on
ver.
October 5th.
Mira,
But
voy a
we
buscar.
know, InXile Wasteland 3, you guys have been working
Vamos a
on this for
sacarme
a
la
very
duda.
long time. So can you kind of talk about that journey?
Yeah, our dev team has been working non-stop full tilt, trying to make Wasteland 3 the best version of itself it could be. Over the past year since it's released, we've added features, we've balanced, we've listened to the community, we've fixed bugs, added stability, and I really think that the version that we have now is the absolute best version of the game, and if you've never played it before, now's an awesome
No,
time
no,
to
sí
jump
salió,
in.
salió. Van a sacar un DLC
Congratulations
entonces.
on everything that you've been doing with
Ajá.
Wasteland 3. Now, this DLC is called The Cult of the Holy
Sí,
Detonation.
un DLC.
Now, talk about that a little bit.
Sí, yo no me acordaba bien que había visto si había salido o no salido, porque
Right, so
lo
you've
estaba
heard of
siguiendo.
Cheyenne Mountain, right? For those who haven't, Cheyenne Mountain is this top secret military
Ah, me
complex
gusta
buried deep in the
el
heart
look
of
del
Cheyenne
loco
Mountain
ese.
in the middle of Colorado. It's designed
Se
to
parece al mío.
outlast a nuclear winter. And so when you hit level 16, an old friend calls you and says, hey, I need your help securing this secret military base and all the secrets in it. And as soon as you get there, you find two warring cults battling over supremacy, trying to take control of the Holy Detonation, which is this pre-war science experiment that they worship as a god.
Maravilla.
And you know, these cultists are insane, they're mutated, they've gone totally mad.
Ustedes vieran la que yo tengo.
All they want to do is share the holy radiation with you.
Algún día, tal vez cuando lleguemos a los 1000 suscriptores, gente,
How generous.
Yeah, that sounds a lot
vamos a
cooler
empezar a
than some
usar
of the cults
cámara.
I may have joined in the past, but
Pero
this is typical
necesito la
Wasteland
mejor
fashion.
PC
We're
porque todo
really
eso
gonna be able to
consume
get in there and
recursos.
mix it up, right?
Right. So you and your ranger team insert yourself right smack dab in the middle of their holy war, which, you know, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
And this is a Wasteland game, so you decide
En
everything.
todo caso, si quieren ver quién soy,
And so you decide who lives, who dies,
busquen
who gets screwed over,
en mi canal en la
who takes charge.
sección
You're deciding the fate of
acerca
the
de,
cults,
ahí está
the
mi
Holy
Instagram,
Detonation, Cheyenne Mountain, and ultimately
vayan y
all of
síganme allá.
Colorado. This is really your game to craft and mold.
That's awesome. So the last expansion was the Battle of Steeltown, right? You had giant robots and things like that. So, you know, what are you going to do to actually top something like that from the last expansion?
Right. So we wanted like returning players to find something that they could never find in another version or like in previous versions of Wasteland 3. And so we built this as a Wasteland style dungeon crawl. And in there, you find this awesome mix of mystery, exploration. You're meeting these crazy cultists who have been locked in this like pre-war time capsule, and some of the raddest boss battles we have ever been able to build in a Wasteland game.
That's awesome. I want to get back to the crazy cultists,
Well,
but talk to
yes.
me about these big boss battles. I want to hear more about that.
Right. So we took the best parts of Wasteland combat and we breathed new life into it with objective-based combat, which are basically super rad boss battles. It's no longer you're like huddling in a corner, throwing down turrets, just going on murderous rampages. It's not about killing, it's about getting the job done. And so now combat doesn't end until the mission is over. We send you on proper combat missions. You're in there breaking into prisons, rescuing POWs. You're disrupting these high-tech cultist rituals. You are splitting your fire team and coordinating like you never have had to before. Like everyone on your team has a job, and I really think this is going to take old players who know their ranger team like the back of their hands, and it's going to make them scratch their head and really have to rethink how they go about combat and making it new, exciting, and challenging in a like mentally in a way we haven't been able to really do before with just straight up murder combat.
Now, Wasteland has a reputation for getting a little silly.
Right.
What are some of the weird characters we can expect in some of the story encounters we'll see in the game?
Yeah, with Cult of the Holy Detonation, we really got to cut our devs loose and just let them be creative and fun and silly. Like Exile's modus operandi is if we're like brainstorming and something makes us laugh, we just put it in the game. That's just how we do it, and we pick up the pieces afterwards. Because we want to make something that entertains us, and then we know if we're having fun, our fans are going to have fun along with us. And so we got to explore, like really letting you get deep into this like weird radiation cult, and let you interact with them and talk with them, and tell stories and like maybe even join them. And so like for instance, one of the characters you meet, one of the first cultists you meet, is this slathering beast. He's got like claws and fangs and spikes jutting out, and he's drooling, but he's like the nicest guy in Cheyenne Mountain. Like you meet him and he's like, hey guys, you should like come in here and like soak up some of these rads, it'll be great. And he Sherpas you in and lets you meet the whole cult. And another one of my favorites is the Proteus. He's what you get if you took like 20 cultists and you like melted them into a big pile, kind of like I would do this with like a magnifying glass. I would like melt like army guys and like GI Joes into a big pile, and he's wet and sloppy and gross, and he's hard to understand, and he needs a translator supposedly, but he's like your #1 fan. And getting to build like this totally out there wild extreme character was a ton of fun to write for. It's a ton of fun to like explore like what makes this cult tick, and he's an absolute blast. Hell, even some of the weapons that you find in Cheyenne Mountain, they're devolved cultists. Like there's one guy and he kind of devolved into this like vomiting bagpipe creature, and he has this real like kill me vibe about him. We get to play with these fun body horror themes that let us jackknife between sort of like dark and serious and like goofy and funny, which is a line that Wasteland really loves to ride. Like, you know, a lot of really important stuff is at stake, but, you know, the Wasteland's a pretty bizarre place.
Oh, I can imagine. Now, we talked before, you've been working on Wasteland 3 for a while. There's already expansions that are out there. But say I'm a new player. Say I'm watching this right now and I'm like, man, I want to get into Wasteland 3. What would you suggest for new players wanting to get into this?
And like I said at the top, like Wasteland is like the best version of itself right now because of all the work we've put into it over the past year. And so you can get the whole thing with the Colorado collection. That's the base game plus Cult of the Holy Detonation and Battle of Steeltown, all for a discount. Or if you have Game Pass, you already have Wasteland 3. Just download it and play it. And then you can get both expansions with the expansion pass.
That is awesome. Now, to kind of recap this a little bit, we've talked about, you know, spewing pus bags and these weird characters and the cults and the boss battles and all these really cool things that are going to be in Wasteland 3. But please remind everyone before we get out of here, when can you pick up this DLC?
This it comes out on October 5th. Really
that is awesome. So this is the Cult of the Holy Detonation coming October 5th. David, thank you so much for joining us.
No sé por qué me hizo gracia, me hizo acordar la parte de la película donde dicen que se tienen que ir a la mierda de ahí.
Some incredible crossovers, including unique ship sets inspired by games like Battletech, State of Decay, Halo, and more. Today, we're excited to announce a brand new special event that will award players an all-new ship as a part of the latest wild crossover heading to Sea of Thieves.
El coso del Pirata Caribe.
Begins tomorrow. So get ready to make some mayhem and let's get our first look at this very special ship.
Borderland. ¿Qué onda? Ese es el logo. Sí, ese es el de Borderland. Ajá.
Guten Tag, everyone. Really cool to be a part of this all-digital Gamescom event. And we were thinking, what's the best way to kind of celebrate Gamescom and to be a part of this as Sea of Thieves? And so we're really excited to reveal that we're bringing the Mayhem ship set that you've just seen, a really, really cool ship that's inspired by Borderlands, into Sea of Thieves. And we're giving all of our players a chance to earn it during kind of the Gamescom time period. So it's been really cool to work with the Borderlands team to bring this ship to life, and giving all of our players the chance to earn it as part of this live event that we've cunningly titled Mayhem. You might notice the link. So you can probably guess the kind of activities that are involved, but if you head to Larina at any of the outposts in the Sea of Thieves world, she'll be able to fill you in on the details of what you need to go do to earn the ship set. So we hope everybody gets a chance to take part in this awesome time-limited event. So it starts today, and it runs through to September the 7th. So that's the time period you've got to get your hands on the Mayhem ship set. And I think that's it from me. So, as always, I will see you on the seas.
Cerdo.
It's always been a dangerous world in Trumbull.
Ya no sé con DLC o algo.
But now, it's hope that brings us back together.
Hablen del 3, please.
It builds new bonds.
Todo lo que la gente está esperando.
And in the face of a growing threat, hope is the greatest weapon we have.
Nuevo mapa, excelente. De puta madre, 6 bases nuevas. De una que lo vamos a jugar. Armas nuevas. Bien, bien. El 1 de septiembre. De puta madre, gente. Todo ese contenido es gratuito. Excelente, excelente. Vamos a tener algo para viciar.
Well, just like zombies themselves, it seems everything old is new again in State of Decay 2. And we have a guest to walk us through this Undead update. Please join me in welcoming
Para que
Undead
se gana el
Director of
Word.
Communications, Wonder Russell. Hello, Wonder. How are you?
Hello, I'm great. It's great to be
When-
here. Talk about the Homecoming update releasing on September 1st. We are very excited to get this into players' hands.
You are indeed. So let's talk about the Homecoming update. Obviously, we are coming back to Trumbull Valley. We were there for Heartland, the update, back in 2019. Talk to me about the differences, and I'll sit right here and listen because you're adorable.
So Heartland is the story mode within the game, but it's a very linear, narrative-driven experience. You know, players couldn't move their communities there. So that's all changed with the Trumbull Valley map. It is the 5th core open world map. It's fully remastered, and it expands into 2 territories that were completely inaccessible in Heartland. So players can return to Trumbull Valley with their communities, start new communities there, and really start exploring everything that the new map has to offer.
So then, would Homecoming be a sequel then to Heartland?
Yeah, exactly right. So the events in Heartland kind of play out. You see what happens in Trumbull Valley. So we think of it as the 3rd part of our Trumbull saga that began with the original State of Decay game, continued into Heartland, and now we see what has happened since then and what storylines might be coming to a close. So there is a lot for players to discover, a lot of environmental storytelling to find, and
Me gusta.
things have
Está bueno.
changed. So this isn't the Trumbull Valley that players might remember. So that's going to be exciting.
Interesting. Well, and anytime you expand something like Trumbull Valley, you
Dinosaurio.
just have to have a juggernaut of content, pun intended. Talk to me a little bit about what some of those things are that players can get in on here now in the expanded Trumbull Valley.
Yes, a ton of new content. In fact, we're doing something unique with the Trumbull Valley map. There are items there that you can only find on that map and nowhere else in the game, including 12 new hats and outfits.
Estoy
10
pensando
new
que
very cool
debería.
weapons. We've got 6 new bases, 2 new achievements for achievement
Tal vez
hunters.
debería terminarme un mapa
Adding the game's
para tener
12
una
bounty
comunidad
packs.
más
So that will be
leviada para
available,
jugar el mapa ese
from the bounty
después.
broker across all maps, and I have to say they are
También
some
me
of the
podría
coolest
estresar
weapons I have
antes.
ever seen go into
Va,
the game. I'm so
cansarme un
excited
poco
for
antes del
people to find
juego.
them.
A juggernaut amount of
Si no
content,
espero
and I
hasta
don't care who sees
septiembre,
that
nos
second
falta
run
mucho.
of the day.
¿Cuánto estamos ya?
That
Como
works out great. Well,
25.
let's talk about the State of Decay community because it's absolutely
24,
an integral
6
part
días
to
más.
this entire franchise. And State of Decay being
6,
on
7 días.
Xbox Game Pass, how has that impacted the community? How has that
No
impacted the
acuerdo
game? Talk to me
si
about those.
It's been fantastic, and you know we have an amazing
agosto
community.
trae
We love them so much.
30 o
In fact,
31.
one of the reasons we're doing Trumbull Valley as a map is because it was one of the most requested features from the community, which also makes it very exciting for us to be able to say, we did it, you get it. And we have a major milestone.
Ay,
we're
qué bien que soñó el
celebrating.
Yugere
Decay
ese.
2 has 10 million lifetime players.
10 million lifetime hang your hat on that. I absolutely love that. That is
Really grateful.
Incredible, amazing news. Congratulations to you and the
Bueno,
entire
eso quiere
team
decir
at
que tiene
Undead
una
Labs.
comunidad sólida.
Fantastic work.
Y por
Speaking of
suerte está
Xbox
en
Game
cross
Pass, let's give me
con
the deets
Estina.
one more
Sí, que de
time when it
puta
comes
madre.
to the update.
So the update releases September 1st. It's a free update for all State of Decay 2 owners, and it's included with Xbox Game Pass. Happy Homecoming.
I love it. Thank you, Wonder, very much.
My pleasure.
Now we move from Trumbull Valley to the Lost Valley of Akria. This mystical location trades zombies for ancient warrior clans, forgotten temples of long-dead god kings, and a healthy dose of hack and slash. All this awaits in Stray Blade.
Stray Blade, ¿qué es eso? Ah, se parece a uno que había jugado que era como de... Sí, como era un mundo de sueño, no sé qué onda, pero es lo malo que al final no lo sigo jugando porque tenía que jugar con amigos sí o sí. Y no... ¿Cómo es? No... No tenía un server así abierto. No me estoy acordando cómo se llama ese juego ahora.
Frozen caves and winding canyons. A game world that changes based on your victories and plenty of dues to staff
Pero lo
and
supe
blade
subir al
to blade
canal.
combat. If that weren't enough, you even get a
Es una
fuzzy
primera
little
impresión
valley
nomás,
help you
después
out.
lo devolví
Between
por
the
ese
epic
tema.
fights and this small guy, there's
Creo que me
clearly a lot
lo
going on
devolví.
here. So let's hear more from Point Blank Games about Stray Blade.
Hello everybody.
Capaz la misma empresa, por eso se ve parecido.
And today I will show you Stray Blade. Stray Blade is an action RPG where you play a rogue adventurer who is
Son
exploring the
las
ancient valley of a
3 van a ser. Técnicamente esto va a estar hasta 90 minutos, dice que va a durar, o sea,
That is the how.
1 hora y media.
Combat and exploration are the two key
Sí.
elements of our game. Let's dive
O
into
sea que media hora más.
Our combat system merges strategic anticipation of enemy attacks with split-second blade-to-blade reactions. It is the high noon of skill-based melee weapon combat. To achieve that, we put our hearts into creating fluid, well-readable animations and epic cinematic finishers. You can choose from multiple weapon categories that can be combined to fit your playstyle. Now, let's take a look at the exploration. Kriya's colorful world ranges from overgrown city ruins to frozen caves and winding canyons. Together with your companion, explore the deepest corners of an ever-changing world bristling with adventure. Every discovery holds treasure. Find rare materials, recipes, weapons, lore pieces, and beautiful places. Change is part of your journey, where every victory impacts the world around you. When you die, time keeps moving forward. Enemy skills stay dead, new foes invade camps that you weakened, and when Boji revives you, only one thing is certain. The change you brought shapes what now awaits you. And of course, get ready for epic boss fights. We hope you enjoyed the first look at Stray Blade, which will be out next year. And keep an eye on our social media channels for more information.
Ok. 2022. Usa aquí interesa, a ver qué hay para
One of the
cruzar
most
aquí.
unique games finally comes to Xbox.
Yeah, unique. As in, my evil twin murdered 4 of my husbands because they secretly.
Ah, no, salió en Xbox Live. Pensé que sí.
In case that didn't tip you off, we're talking about Crusader Kings 3, the medieval grand strategy and role-playing game that has you trying to defend your royal line from those that would conquer your kingdom, and evil twins apparently.
Yeah. It's coming to Xbox as an adaptation, not a direct port, meaning that the UI and controls have been refined to bring that grand strategy experience to a controller.
Not to mention bringing the grand strategy experience to my comfy living room couch.
We'll all be ruling from our throne room soon enough. Check out Crusader Kings 3 now, coming to Xbox consoles.
El problema es si hay que leer las letras, pues son a veces un poco mierda. Chiquitas son las del juego, se ven como raras así. Yo que soy medio chicato, tuve que poner un mod y todo para agrandarlas porque...
The crimes committed against us. Your father sought his glorious revenge and fate.
And fate.
He never understood that the greatest wars are won with weddings, not warriors. With daggers, not swords. Only the small-minded measure success across the span of a single life.
Es buenísimo el juego, es muy bueno. Pero siempre pasa lo mismo, el tema de las letras en los juegos así.
You see,
Matan la vista.
strategy requires cunning.
Crusaders King 3. Ah, Saki es la primera. Llega a consola solamente Xbox, mira.
Crusader Kings 3 is wild. You really haven't lived until you've made an 8-year-old the King of England.
Well, it's nice to have hobbies. We've all gotten into some weird stuff this past year.
Weird like diving into people's brains and exploring their mental universes.
Ojalá lo hagan. Sí, va a ser cross seguramente con Steam. Que seguro. Estaría bueno.
Exactly that kind of weird, which means I am so
ahí con una
excited for
partida con un
Psychonauts to
random.
finally get a sequel. It has been so long.
There really is something special about Psychonauts, isn't it?
There really is indeed. Now, think about this. 2005, when Psychonauts originally came out, was a different time for gaming. Most of the biggest games that year, we're talking Resident Evil 4, Battlefield 2, Call of Duty 2. They were great games, for sure. But they were all big, beefy shooter games.
Meanwhile, Psychonauts had humor,
¿Qué
whimsy,
problema
and
hay?
surprisingly heartfelt moments. It was an oasis of color and humanity in an era when games were increasingly turning grimy, dark, and combative.
Not to mention having some deceptively deep character moments.
Iba a hacer un chiste con lo que digo, pero
That's
mejor
why
me
the
callo.
original is considered a cult classic.
It has been a long time coming, and it is finally here. Enjoy this long-awaited launch trailer for Psychonauts.
Bueno, capaz que alguno se dio cuenta cuando lo hizo.
My name is Raz, and I'm the new intern. And today is my first day on the job.
Get ready, Rasputin.
Did you forget everything I taught you about levitation?
Está bueno.
I'm not supposed to check out equipment.
Sí.
You did what?
Está bueno las gráficas, o sea, cómo están dibujados.
We were all new once, in case you forgot. I've got eyes on the target. And I've got eyes on me.
All I see is another unruly peasant.
Plebeyo rebelde.
Oh boy.
Este es el juego donde el tipito se mete en la mente de la persona o algo así, ¿no?
Leave it to me.
Play Take One.
Well, it's clear I could not be more excited for Psychonauts 2 because I gotta be honest, me and that original game, we got some beef that needs settling. If you know, you know. The meat circus level, it is infamous, it is brutal, it is difficult to say the least. It's the final level of the original game that came out, and I cannot believe I'm doing the math on this one. 16 years ago, Tim Schafer and Lizette Teatree Montgomery. I am definitely dating myself, but you all welcome from Double Fine Productions. Thank you so much for being here. Tim, can you believe it has been 16 years? I almost said 19 years.
Yeah, it feels like only yesterday, but it kind of was for Raz because the story picks up right where the first game left off. And even though it has been a lot of years, it's a game that matters a lot to us. We really love it here at Double Fine, and we know that a lot of fans, it meant a lot to them. And so we really want to be true to the first game, which we were able to do because we brought back a lot of the same voice actors, and we also have a lot of people on the team here that worked on the first game, as well as bringing on a bunch of new people like
La verdad estoy cagado de sueño y me río cualquier
to carry
imagen.
the legacy forward, especially the cool style of Wonk that is very prevalent in the first game.
Y eso que no estoy tomando nada alcohólico, sino que es más que un té nomás.
Back a bit. Of course, this can be kind of a trippy idea if you're not
Que hidratarse bien cuando te pasas mucho tiempo sin dormir, te queda hidratarte.
first game, right? So if a Psychonaut sort of dove into my brain, it would be like a lot of Ted Lasso quotes and French
Muy
Bulldog
importante.
names. Am I correct, Tim?
Yeah, that's what's fun about a Psychonauts game is that all the levels are different, just like every person is different based on their personality. If you could jump into someone's mind, what would it look like in there? What would be the color of the sky, and like who would the monsters be? And in Psychonauts, you get to do that because Raz has the power of astral projection. And when he goes in, he gets to fight those monsters and help people deal with their nightmares and wrestle with their inner demons. And so there's a ton of variety, and there's a lot of anything goes. We can go to any location, we can have any art style, and coming up with new levels for the second game was really fun to do.
Well, I loved it from the first game, certainly. Lizette, let's talk a little bit about how that kind of concept expresses itself in the game world. I mean, Psychonauts 2 has got it all over the place, I'm sure.
Sí,
It was really important for us to carry
la rubia tiene pinta que es de jugar.
unique levels from
Se
the
le
first
nota.
game. and the unique style as well. So we're really focused on how we can bring forward that style in Wonk and also bring in new levels and enemies.
Now, of course, it wouldn't be Psychonauts without new mental demons, and I'm sure it's happening in Psychonauts 2. What does this mean? Does it mean basically is that we're finally able to slap COVID anxiety in the face?
Well, I don't know if you get to slap anxiety in your face, but you definitely get to slap some panic attacks. And COVID definitely
Hasta el
causes
pelado de Bracer juega videojuegos, gente.
In
Así
addition to
que...
panic attacks, some of our old enemies have also come back. Our sensors are our favorites, and they're definitely.
Ah, y el que me llamó la atención fue el coso, Obama. Obama también es un famoso
New
gamer.
enemies. There's our lovely sensor. Also, some regrets, some flying regrets. There are a ranged enemy, and they definitely are challenging. Our doubts are our slow, sticky melee enemy. You're also seeing our enabler here. He is our, energizes our whole combat troop. So we have a whole cast that you can battle and fight with.
Including the new bad mood.
Including the bad mood.
Which is...
It's an electric storm of feelings that you have to fight.
Now, for those who haven't played the original, available now on Xbox Game Pass, by the way, wink. Tim, why is Raz so good at rummaging through brains?
Como resalta el XO con la remera de la chica.
He has two whole sets of skills. One being the acrobatic skills he learned growing up in the circus. He can balance on tightropes, jump on trampolines, swing on trapezes, and that helps him navigate and get around to all kinds of interesting places. But he also has this other side to his personality, which is that he's a powerful psychic. So he can levitate objects. He can use telekinesis and pyrokinesis. He has these powers, which people might recognize from the first game, as well as 3 new powers for the second game. He has the ability to mentally connect thoughts together, and he can connect 2 thoughts and actually connect 2 thoughts together to solve puzzles and to navigate in this game. He has the power of time bubble, which is just change.
Yo la verdad no he jugado que recuerde, 16 años. Capaz que sí, pero
he also has the power of projection, which allows
ni me acuerdo ya.
A personality out of his unconscious mind, bring it into the world that he's in.
Es más viejo incluso que sí, que el Diablo 2.
Let's talk about the story for a second, because as the original Psychonauts, we saw Raz training to be part of an organization, and now perhaps he's part of a whole organization at this point. And are there other brain agents, other Psychonauts out there?
Sería
he grew up in a completely different circus.
1900 y tanto.
Yeah,
¿Sí?
we have a lot of new characters.
No sé qué consola viene a ver, la
We have a
Xbox.
lot of new characters in this
La
game.
360.
As soon as Raz arrives on the headquarters, he immediately gets introduced to the interns. And the interns quickly tell him and show him how he fits into the organization.
The bottom.
They're right down at the bottom.
Yeah, so earn his way back to the
Hasta el
top again.
fondo.
He's no longer the closest himself, yeah. And much to his
No
chagrin,
paran de
his
hacer
entire
chistes
family,
así, lo dicen a propósito.
circus clothes wearing family comes to visit him in front of all his
No es que yo soy el mal pensado, güey.
the interns find out that he's the awkward middle child of a circus family. Each one of them has their own quirks and foibles, and some of them are even psychic. And so a lot of their story gets told in this game, including their backstory,
A la
how
mina
they
le
led to
gustó.
the foundation of the Psychonauts themselves.
Well, I like that. And of course, as you might know already, I'm sold. But you, of course, already knew that. When can myself and the rest of the world exact some beefy, meaty revenge?
You can get back to the beef and play Psychonauts 2 on August 25th on Xbox Game Pass and PC.
En agosto,
There
¿eh?
it is. Lizette, Tim, from Double
Mañana
Fine,
sale.
thank you so much. And you know what?
Claro, Double Fine, ese es el actor,
On
¿no?
the launch of Psychonauts 2.
¿Cómo es que se llama el loco ese? Es ese, ¿no? Pero está diferente
You
ahora.
can catch more of Tim Schafer and
O es el
answer
hermano o
those
algo, pues se
questions
parece
about the
mucho.
newest game in the
No,
fan favorite
tiene que ser alguien
franchise in our
parecido.
Xbox Play stream
Double Fine es la
tomorrow.
empresa que creó el actor este de humor, que no me estoy acordando ahora el nombre.
Alien planets in this supremely satisfying 4K 60 trailer for The Gunk.
Strange War, ¿cuál era ese? Strange War.
don't like this weather. I'm pretty sure the ship's insurance won't cover alien storm damage. You have to be careful out there.
The gunk's eating everything here. This planet is literally
Se ve
a
lindo.
paradise when the gunk's gone.
Turutututum. Dex. Está buscando a alguien.
We have talked about so many incredible games today, and it's hard to pick a favorite, but let me just say, it is so
Extraño
cool
escuchar
to see
el
K2 as a fan in
exclusive.
Trumbull Valley. Come on. And hey, you know what? Great job on that flight sim interview.
Oh, thank you. I mean, talking to you
¿terminó?
is always a blast, and Flight Sim is such a special game to me because, I mean, it's literally letting me travel the world. But I was
Pero no duró
daggers
1 hora y
jealous
media.
watching you talk to Tim and Lizette over at Double Fine.
Well, I will say this, I understand, but you got to play Psychonauts 2 already, so I don't even want to hear it.
That's true, but it's not the same as talking to the creators. Just trust me when I tell you. Be excited for Psychonauts 2.
I will say this as well, I am excited to see even more of Psychonauts 2 on our Xbox Plays streams.
Yes, don't forget, Xbox Plays will recap all the week's news throughout the week at twitch.tv/Xbox, so make sure to check that out. Before Kate and I let Playground Games take the wheel, let me just say that it has been our distinct pleasure to chat games and nerd out with everyone today.
Oh, it's hands down the best part of the job, for sure.
Tengo que buscar ese canal de
Far from
Twitch.
done here.
Too true. Now, in June, Playground Games announced that Forza Horizon 5, the highly anticipated follow-up to 2018's breakout hit open-world driving game Forza Horizon 4, arrives on November 9th on Xbox consoles, Xbox Game Pass for console, PC, and cloud, and of course, Steam.
And if you're watching our Xbox YouTube channel, switch
Score
over to our
Steam.
Xbox Twitch channel to see all this new exclusive content.
Sí, me encanta que se hayan fusionado. Va, que dejen sacar los juegos en Steam y que no solo eso, sino que permiten el crossplay y eso es canela en rama.
Without further ado, let's dive in, starting with the new
Y bueno, y PlayStation está haciendo lo mismo, está sacando su juego en Steam, así que de putísima madre, gente.
can have it in hand by November 9th when the standard edition of the game launches.
Por mí que le metan crossplay a todos los juegos online. Lo mejor que podrían hacer. Muy bueno el control ese. Chulo. Van a mostrar algo de Battlefield.
Charlie here, and I'm at Playground Games with Forza Horizon creative director Mike Brown and Forza Horizon art director Don Arcetta. Hello, everybody.
Hey everyone. Hi Charlie.
Hey Charlie.
Hello.
How cool is this?
Hey Charlie.
It's stunning. Look at that. Well, we obviously just saw a really cool video about it, and I'll be the first to say there is an amazing influence of Mexican car culture and music
Suena
literally
eso de
splayed
Charlie
right
una
across the
película.
front. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. It just feels like it's a part of the Horizon Festival, like it's just dropped out of the game into your lap.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love it.
And there's so much we do want to show the fans, and it's been quite difficult to decide where to start. So can you maybe tell us a bit more about the game, Mike?
Sure, yeah. So Forza Horizon 5 is bringing the Horizon Festival's unique brand of fun and freedom to beautiful and vibrant Mexico. Players are going to set out across the largest, most
La verdad que sí es lo que
world
tiene el
we've ever
perfil
built in
de
hundreds
jugador
of the world's most beautiful and exciting cars.
de juego de
Yeah,
auto.
and people think that Mexico is just a
De
desert or a
carreras,
beach,
¿no?
but there's so much more to it, isn't there?
That's right. Even though it does have pretty awesome beaches and a number of amazing deserts, it also has vast canyons, hidden temples, awesome, beautiful historic cities, and even a towering snow-capped volcano, the highest point we've ever had in a Horizon game.
So you've talked about how Forza Horizon 5 showcases powerful, all-new graphical features, but what more can you tell us about that?
So yeah, our Mexican HDR sky captures really illuminate the world to the point where you feel like you're really there. And thanks to the Xbox Series X and S, ray tracing is utilized in Forza Vista to really make our cars look more true to real life. You'll encounter the smallest of details as you travel throughout the world. All
Exclusive.
With
Escuchó mal, exclusive.
Oh, that's such an exciting overview. I cannot wait. And next up is something we know that Forza Horizon fans have definitely been waiting for the most. Mike, what exactly is that?
Yeah, that's right. We are about to reveal the cover of Forza Horizon 5, featuring the incredible Mercedes AMG 1 and the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands. Should we take a look?
Let's do it, yeah.
Está muy entusiasmado, loco. Muy chulo, che. Oh, pixelado, pixelado. Noviembre. Nunca jugué un Horizon todavía. Los que sí he estado jugando fueron los Need for Speed.
So what I want to know is why those two cars were chosen and what players can expect when they get behind the wheel.
Yeah, so those differences are exactly why we chose them. The Mercedes AMG 1 marks the first time a car features Formula One hybrid technology almost one-to-one from track to the street. And with the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, that's primed for rugged off-roading across Mexico's vast terrain.
And I'm certain people can't wait to see more of what these cars can do in the
Tienen
game.
la licencia porque los llaman por el nombre que
Mike,
realmente
can you tell us
es.
about what we're about to see next?
Yes, so in a few moments' time, we'll be kicking off a Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go stream, and everybody should check that out for a big deep dive into loads of new content and features from Forza Horizon 5. But before that, we have 8 minutes
¿Qué onda con los
of
ojos de algunos de los que están ahí?
Mercedes AMG 1 and
Tanto tuvieron,
2021 Ford
tan
Bronco
cansados.
Badlands. And in typical Horizon fashion,
Ojos
we are
rojos
going to see
tienen los
active
ojos.
volcanoes, cars jumping out of cargo planes, and a race under beautiful Mexican skies all the way to the Horizon Festival. Should we check it out?
I think we should.
Here we take control of the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, atop the towering, snow-capped Gran Caldera volcano.
See you on the other side!
La música típica de los juegos de carrera está muy buena. Puede que sea el primer Forza que compre, ¿eh?
There might be a little bit of traffic ahead. Watch out for that.
Ahí cae en la pista directamente.
Making new friends, eh? You go enjoy yourself. I have to go make another delivery. Drop zone approaching. Lovely day for a drive.
So now we see the 2020 Corvette Stingray tearing up the asphalt towards a dust storm in the Mexican farmland.
like the storm! So sigue adelante! Keep going! Okay! There's no other way around! We've got to go through it!
A la mierda.
For the eye of the storm! Okay, on my mark. 5, 4. 4 now, that's fine. This could get a little rough. Touchdown! Not even a scratch. The jungle awaits.
Next up is the Porsche 911 Desert Flyer, crashing through the dense jungle tree canopy.
Flamingos! I'll swing back round and guide you through the bridge.
Ah, el avión le va indicando el camino.
¡Qué maravilla! You're not gonna believe your eyes when you see this. Keep going.
Los flamingos.
This is the final drop. The whole festival is waiting. Go, go, go! What do you say? First to the festival wins? Vámonos!
And on the final leg, we have the stunning Mercedes AMG 1 at full speed across Mexico's sun-baked rocky coast.
Horizon, this is Mexico. We've already had cars falling out of the sky, but all eyes are on the superstar making their way to the festival right now. If you've just arrived at Horizon Mexico, then you are in for a treat, my friends. Get ready for the biggest Horizon adventure of your life. Did you hear that? Well, that is the last inbound cargo flight racing neck and neck with an AMG 1.
Muy bueno, me gustó. Está muy bueno. Bueno, terminó. Thank you for watching. Atento for Switch. Bueno. Bien, gente, vamos dejando el directo hasta aquí. ¿Será que harán como un... no sé, como una especie de videos que saben mostrar a veces después de los directos? Pero no tiene pinta. Y Halo no mostraron, ajá, es cierto. Interesante eso. La mayoría que veo que está en el chat son gente que calculo que deben ser muy fan de PlayStation. Y andan soltando el hate ahí. A ver. Sí. No, yo la verdad pensé que iban a mostrar algo de cosas de Battlefield, pero no. De hecho sé que hubo como algo hizo Electronic Arts estos días, creo que mostró la película, pero no sé si hizo directo como tal, pero sí sé que sacaron una película de 10 minutos o algo así. Así que bueno, gente, vamos a ir dejando el directo hasta aquí y mañana vamos a estar streameando la Gamescom en la apertura. Así que nos estamos viendo en un próximo directo de Gameplay, gente. Salute.